1997, Shan City, by the lakeside of nameless Lake Park, the woman grabbed my hand and gave me a provocative smile. As she exerted force, I did the same, and in an instant, we swapped positions. With a provocative smile at the woman, I used her momentum against her. As I fell into the lake, I pulled her into the water with me. Help! Help! Someone's fallen into the water. Save them! Someone on the shore shouted. I rolled my eyes. Who's being so nosy? Dragging the woman who was desperately swimming toward the shore, I quickly moved farther away from the bank. Lunaby, what are you doing? Let go of me. I grinned at her, shouting for help while flailing my hands wildly. Soon, the woman was slapped into the lake by my flailing. As her head emerged from the water, before she could finish her word, she was slapped back into the lake by my desperately flailing hands. After several such attempts, someone finally jumped into the lake. Feeling the woman's struggling strength diminish, I still didn't stop, feeling extremely satisfied inside. Given a second chance at life, I will repay grievances with vengeance and settle scores with retaliation. I still remember that at this same time in my previous life, Lacey, when invited me to this park the day after she returned from abroad, staged her own drowning, and incidentally dragged me, a non-swimmer, into the lake. My husband of 1 month, Reeslew, rushed over. Just as I desperately reached out to him for help, he wrapped his arms around the woman and rescued her first. After I had swallowed a stomachful of water, someone else pulled me out. While I was still bent over, vomiting water frantically, the woman in the white dress, draped in my husband's military green short-sleeved shirt, walked up to me and slapped me twice across the face. Lunaby, if it weren't for Brother Lou's sake, I wouldn't let you off so easily for pushing me into the water. I didn't push you, I retorted. You fell in yourself and pulled me down with you. Lunaby, do you think everyone is a fool? With so many people watching, let them tell us what really happened. It was indeed the woman in blue who pushed the woman in white. The onlooker's words firmly pinned me to the pillar of shame for pushing someone into the water. I looked at my husband, Reeslew, and said, Reeslew, believe me, I really didn't push Lacey when, but my husband didn't believe me at all. Lunaby, stop making a scene. I'll take Lacey when to the hospital first. Go home and change your clothes, then come to the hospital to apologize to Lacey when. I watched helplessly as my husband walked away, supporting the woman who was perfectly fine, under the strange stares of everyone around. I hugged myself and slunk back to the residential compound alone, because I insisted on not apologizing. The man compensated Lacey when with the thousands of yuan in betrothal gifts and the engagement token from our wedding. Because of the fall into the water, she stayed in the hospital for several days. She didn't report it to the police, so giving her some compensation is only fair. I also had a fever. It lasted for 3 days. I almost burned myself silly. How can you compare yourself to her? You grew up in the countryside. You're tough. Lacey when has never suffered hardships since childhood. Her body is too delicate. I'm not resentful. Who says I'm tough? Although I grew up in the countryside, my dad and brothers never made me do any farm work. I was also raised with care and affection. After my father was discharged from the military, he went to work at the steel mill in our hometown. But a few years ago, the steel mill laid off workers. As a soldier, my father had a strong sense of responsibility and, to make things easier for the factory leaders, he volunteered to be laid off. There was a subsidy for the layoffs, which, although not much, was enough for us to get by. Unfortunately, my eldest brother broke his leg while climbing a mountain. To treat his leg, the family used up all our savings, but his leg still ended up being crippled. Life at home also became increasingly difficult. However, despite the hardships, my family still doted on me and never let me do farm work, right up until I finished high school and didn't get into university. It was only then that my father sent me to the Liu family to have them fulfill the marriage agreement. The moment I laid eyes on Reeslew, I was extremely satisfied. Tall, handsome, and a soldier, he fulfilled all my fantasies of a lover, at the insistence of Grandpa Liu. Within less than a week of arriving at the compound, Reeslew and I got our marriage certificate. That month, I felt incredibly happy. I always thought Reeslew loved me, but everything changed after Lacey when returned. Stop being unreasonable. I'm already exhausted from taking care of Lacey when these past few days. Can't you just let me have some peace? I felt wronged. I had a fever for several days too, but he didn't even come back to see me. That's when I felt that he had changed, but I still held on to hope. To confirm whether he really loves me or not, I made a scene with him. Luna, bye. Stop making a scene. I can't focus on my work like this. If you keep this up, our marriage won't be able to continue. I don't want a divorce, so I had no choice but to quiet down. If you make a mistake, you have to correct it. I'm doing this for your own good. If Lacey Wen had called the police, you would have ended up in jail. You know, you are my wife, and I won't just stand by and watch you go to jail. From now on, don't target Lacey Wen. There's nothing between us. You have to trust me. A marriage can only last if there's mutual trust between husband and wife. We grew up together. Her parents passed away in a car accident a few years ago, and she just returned from abroad. I felt sorry for her being all alone and struggling, so I helped her out more. If the money is gone, I can earn it again. As he said this, he handed me his savings passbook and that month's salary. At that time, I felt I was being a bit unreasonable. Later, the man handed over his salary on time every month, and I thought he loved me, so I devoted myself wholeheartedly, working hard for 20 years. And even when he went to help Lacey Wen, I understood him. I bore his children, took care of his elderly parents, removed all his worries, and never let him be distracted at work. He was also ambitious, spending 20 years climbing from a company commander to the rank of division commander. But on the very day he was appointed as division commander, I was knocked unconscious. When I woke up, I found my hands tied and myself thrown into a dilapidated wooden house, which was filled with a pungent smell. I knew it was the smell of gasoline. Lacey Wen held a lighter in her hand, looking at me with a crazed expression. Luna, bye. Brother Lou is now a division commander. It's time for you to leave. I was panicked at the time. Lacey Wen, what are you doing? Do you know this is illegal? Lacey Wen patted my face, her expression twisted with malice. Illegal? You're so naive. You held me hostage, tried to burn me to death. I narrowly escaped, and you brought this on yourself. I was really terrified at that moment. Lacey Wen, don't do anything foolish. If Reeslu finds out, he will definitely not let you off. Haha, Luna, bye. You're so ridiculous. Even if Brother Lou finds out, he won't do anything to me. He loves me. I argued indignantly. You're talking nonsense. Reeslu loves me. He just pities you and takes care of you as a friend. All these years, Reeslu has given his salary to me. He loves me. Haha, Brother Lou loves you. You're really foolish. All these years, Brother Lou has been at my beck and call, always available whenever I need him. Even if he was in the middle of an intimate moment with you at night, one call from me would make you both stop. Hearing Lacey Wen's words, I suddenly remembered that time when Reeslu and I were in bed together. And then he got a phone call and rushed off in a hurry. No, it wasn't just once or twice. It was many times. I always thought it was because of a mission in the military. I always understood him and supported him. But the truth turned out to be like this. Hearing the woman say this, I felt like a clown. A clown being played by this woman. And back then when I pulled you into the water, did you really think Big Brother Lou didn't know it was me who pulled you in? He knew I could swim. But he still saved me first, and to comfort me, he made you pay back all the betrothal gifts. Although he gave you all his salary, he gave me the allowances and bonuses from every mission, which are much more than the salary. Over the years, has he ever taken you to see a movie? Has he ever bought you a new piece of clothing? You don't know, do you? He took me, and he bought me lots of new clothes. With every word Lacey Wen said, I felt worse. I was becoming hysterical. You're lying. Reeslu doesn't love you. He just pities you. Just keep lying to yourself. What man would ignore his own lover to accompany another woman? Let me tell you, Brother Lou watches movies with me, buys clothes with me. Except for the intimate acts between a married couple, I'm much happier than you are. I laughed, laughing at how foolish I was, being played by the two of them like a fool, but I refused to admit defeat. So what? You're just a homewrecker who lets herself be touched and held. If he loved you, why wouldn't he sleep with you? The woman was furious, riding on top of me, venting her anger wildly on my face. You fool, you've monopolized Brother Lou for 20 years. Now that I'm divorced, it's time you gave him back to me. After venting her anger, the woman lit a lighter. Watching the woman slowly back away, I was truly terrified. I gave in. I'm divorcing Reeslu. I'll make room for you. There's no need for us to end up like this. Haha, it's too late. Brother Lu has become a division commander. How could he abandon his wife who has been with him through hard times? Lunabai, only if you die can Brother Lu marry me without any burden. Go die. As the lighter was thrown onto the gasoline, the fire instantly ignited. At the same time, I heard Reese Lu's shout. I screamed desperately, Reese Lu, save me. The woman also shouted, Brother Lu, save me. Lunabai has gone mad, she's trying to burn me to death. I saw the man rush in like a madman. But when he saw the woman on the outside, he didn't even glance in my direction, he just grabbed her and dashed out. At that moment, I knew it was time to wake up. I had deceived myself for 20 years, it was time to break free. Watching the burning clothes, I closed my eyes in despair. Never did I expect that when I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the year I was 6 years old. That was the year my father, by Dashan, took a bullet for Grandpa Rieslu and was severely injured. Just after he had been transferred to a local factory, it was also the year my marriage to Rieslu was arranged. I was 6 years old that year, and Rieslu was 10. 12 years have passed in the blink of an eye. I arrived at the military compound alone, just like in my previous life, though about 10 days later than before. When Grandpa Lu asked Reese Lu to immediately file the marriage report, I stopped him. So I am still his fiancée, not his wife of 1 month. The reason I came to this compound was, first, to retrieve the engagement token, and second, to vent the resentment from my past life. As the man approached, I screamed for help while pushing the woman back into the water again. The woman, dazed and confused, drank a mouthful of water before finally lifting her head above the surface. She called out weakly, Reese Lu, save me. The man was quick to respond, swimming to our side in no time. Without hesitation, he wrapped an arm around the woman, holding her protectively with one hand while using the other to paddle toward the shore. As for me, right there within arm's reach, I was completely ignored. My heart was filled with sorrow. What more could I hope for? Just as I was about to shout according to the plan, someone grabbed my arm. Comrade, don't worry. I will definitely save you. I was taken aback and a bit annoyed, but quickly came to my senses and, using the man's strength, swam together toward the shore. Seeing the man look at me suspiciously, I belatedly stopped treading water. The moment I stopped treading water, I clearly felt the man's movements pause, but soon he continued swimming with me. The man had great stamina and reached the shore almost at the same time as Reese Lu. After coming ashore, the man directly picked up the clothes lying on the ground and handed them to me. Cover yourself, glancing at the man who didn't dare to look me in the eye. I reached out to take the clothes and wrapped them around myself. Wrapping them around my delicate figure also blocked those ill-intentioned gazes. I gave the man a slight smile. Thank you. Then I walked over to the woman who was still spitting water and gave her a hard slap without any hesitation. Lacey Wen, you vicious woman. You knew I couldn't swim, yet you still pushed me into the river. Reese Lu, who was supporting the woman, was startled by my action and then looked furious. Luna Bai. You. Before the man could finish, I also gave him a hard slap across the face. Reese Lu, I am your fiancé. You abandoned your own fiancé in a life-threatening situation to save another woman. Are you even a man? After saying that, I felt that one slap wasn't enough to vent my anger. So I raised my hand and gave the man another hard slap, which left my palm tingling. The man might have been stunned by my slaps, or perhaps he felt guilty from my words. He didn't speak, just clenched his fists and lowered his head. The woman who had just finished vomiting water couldn't take it anymore. Luna Bai, you're going too far. It was clearly you who kept pulling me down and making me drown. Brother Lu was only in a hurry to save me. Before the woman could finish her sentence, I unceremoniously slapped her again. Lacey Wen, if it weren't for the sake of my fiancé Reese Lu, I wouldn't let you off the hook for pushing me into the water. I advise you to behave yourself and keep a low profile. I didn't push you. You jumped in yourself and dragged me down with you. You're deliberately framing me. Lacey Wen roared, am I, a landlubber, supposed to risk my own life just to frame you? Do you think everyone is a fool? I turned to look at the people around me, tears stubbornly refusing to fall from my eyes. Comrades, we just fell into the water. I don't know who saw it, but could you please tell us what happened? Was it me who pushed her, or was it her who pushed me? I just saw this female comrade in white push the one in blue, and somehow they both ended up in the water, a bystander said. pointing at Lacey Wen. I saw it too. And me, I saw it too. I looked at Lacey Wen's shocked face. A fleeting smile crossing my mind. Truly, what goes around comes around. Heaven spares no one. Rieslu seemed somewhat incredulous. Perhaps he hadn't expected his childhood friend to do such a thing. Seeing the man's displeased expression, Lacey Wen immediately put on a pitiful, delicate act, tears welling up as she spoke softly. Brother Lu, we grew up together. You know exactly what kind of person I am. You have to believe me. It was really Luna Bai who fell by herself and pulled me down with her. Just now in the water, she pushed me under the lake several times, making me choke on a lot of water. If you hadn't saved me, I might have drowned. Everyone was far away, and maybe because of the angle, they misunderstood and thought I pushed her. Brother Lu, you must believe me. The woman cried bitterly and miserably. I saw a flicker of heartache in Rieslu's eyes. Luna Bai, I grew up with Lacey Wen. Lacey Wen has always been kind and gentle. I believe she didn't mean to do it. I will investigate this matter, but for now, let's go back. Lacey Wen choked on water and needs to be taken to the hospital first. The woman played the victim, and the man wavered. While in my past life, no matter how much I tried to reason with him, he was convinced that I had pushed her. Think about it. In my past life, I was so foolish. I wasted 20 years for such a man and ended up losing my life. It was so not worth it, seeing Rieslu helping the woman to leave. I quickly stepped in front of the two and jumped up to give the man a hard slap. I shook my hand with a hiss. How could this man's face be so hard? My hand hurt from slapping him. The man, having been slapped 3 times in such a short while, finally got angry. Luna Bai, what are you doing? Don't go too far. After he finished speaking, I jumped up again and unceremoniously gave him another big slap. Rieslu, I know you mean well by holding on to Lacey Wen the whole time. Just to let everyone know that Lacey Wen seduced you, you've ruined her reputation. But this isn't right. I can't stand by and watch you make a mistake for my sake. You'd better take your hands off Lacey Wen. If you push her too far and she turns around and accuses you of seducing her, that would be a huge loss. Hearing this, Rieslu awkwardly let go of the woman's hand he was supporting. At the same time, I heard an untimely muffled laugh. I glanced around and noticed the man who had just saved me staring at Rieslu with a look of disdain. Seeing me look at him, he turned his gaze toward me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The man's deep voice was inexplicably intoxicating. I shot the man a glare and continued looking at Rieslu. You're a soldier. You can't take revenge on her this way. Do you realize that by acting like this, you'll make everyone misunderstand Lacey Wen as a homewrecker? I don't need you to make such a huge sacrifice. Rieslu, his face swollen and red, snapped at me in a low voice. What nonsense are you talking about? Luna Bai, Lacey Wen quickly followed, her face still red and swollen. Luna Bai, how could you be so vulgar? Brother Lu and I grew up together, just like real siblings. I looked surprised. What, are you saying you've been like this since childhood, always hugging and holding each other? Perhaps my words were too harsh. Or maybe Rieslu felt too embarrassed. He pointed at me and whispered to the woman, you go first, go to the hospital and get checked. The woman shot me a hateful glance, then ran off sobbing. I shouted at her retreating figure, Lacey Wen, remember this. If it weren't for my fiancé, Rieslu, I would have called the police. Luna Bai, stop making a scene. Let's go home. That's your home, not mine. Rieslu gritted his teeth. What exactly do you want? Call off the engagement. What do you take my Lu family for? Impossible. Watching the man walk away, I shouted loudly, Rieslu, you're only wearing a vest, and you've been seen by all the other female comrades. Have you no shame? Seeing the man stagger a bit, the pent-up frustration in my heart seemed to ease slightly. Lifting my head again, I wore a sorrowful expression. With reddened eyes, I said to the people around me, thank you all for bearing witness for me today, otherwise I would have been wronged to death by them. I know I shouldn't have used the token to force Rieslu to fulfill the marriage agreement. I know I shouldn't have insisted on joining my fiancé and that woman when I saw them going to the movies, which ended up ruining their movie plans. I know I shouldn't have angered them when I saw my fiancé and that woman strolling hand in hand in the park. I know I shouldn't have run up and asked my fiancé to buy me a new dress too when I saw him buying one for that woman, which not only ruined the purchase but also upset both of them. I know I shouldn't have lost my temper and slapped them when I saw my fiancé save that woman first instead of me, but he's my fiancé. I can't swim. I was scared. Her tears were on the verge of falling, looking utterly pitiful and heartbroken. Ah, this poor girl. Why would she want to marry a man like that? And that woman is no good either. She knew he had a fiancé, yet she still went and clung to him. Well, I mean, that man is just too awful. From his outfit, he looks like a soldier. How can a soldier be so unreliable? Dear, that man is your fiancé, since you're not married yet. I think you should just call off the wedding. Auntie knows plenty of handsome young men. I can introduce you to one. Guaranteed to be better than that man. That woman isn't a good person either. She knew the man was already in a relationship, yet she still got involved with him. She's just a homewrecker, ruining other people's marriages. With reddened eyes, I listened to everyone criticizing Reese Lou and Lacey when, watching the middle-aged man leave, I knew this farce should come to an end. She remembered that middle-aged man, the political commissar of Reese Lou's unit. In her previous life, it was the commissar who witnessed Reese Lou upholding justice by not shielding her. The malicious woman who pushed someone into the water, and he had always held a favorable impression of him. Within a month, Reese Lou was promoted. Coupled with the network of connections from Old Master Lou, Reese Lou was able to climb the ranks so quickly, in this life, after today's incident. It's uncertain how the commissar's impression of Reese Lou will be. I'm sorry for taking up everyone's time because of my matters. Let's call it a day. After the crowd dispersed, I walked out of the park. Reese Lou is your fiancé, and you treat him like this. I turned around and looked at the man following me. What's it to you? Comrade, your attitude is not right. I just saved you. Is this how you treat your savior? Who asked you to save me? My original plan was to scream at Reese Lou in the water, accusing him of abandoning his fiancée for another woman. Then I would sink into the lake. That would be even more thrilling. Better at proving the man has no sense of responsibility. And better at showing that Reese Lou is a scumbag. But this meddlesome man pulled her up, ruining her original plan and forcing her to play the victim to gain sympathy. This is really saving an ungrateful person. When are you returning my clothes? I bought this specifically for a blind date. I was a bit frustrated and really wanted to throw the clothes in the man's face without a second thought. But thinking back to my previous life, when I returned to the residential compound soaking wet. Reese Lou's wife is so shameless. Who does she think she's showing off to? Better keep an eye on your own man. Don't let her seduce him away. Vixen, shameless, broken shoe. If it weren't for sister-in-law Jong from the compound taking pity on me and draping a piece of clothing over me, I might have suffered even more verbal abuse. Looking at the delicate curves under the clothes, I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Miscalculated. I forgot to leave dry clothes by the shore. At this point, returning the clothes to the man was unrealistic. Give me an address, and I'll go back to the compound, clean it up, and then bring it to you. 3rd Regiment Guest House. I was taken aback. The guest house of Reese Lou's military unit. Because of his words, I took a closer look at the man. Short hair, big eyes, a high nose bridge, and thin lips. Because he gave his clothes to me, he was only wearing a white tank top. His arms were full of muscles. And his pectoral muscles were also prominently bulging. Standing over 6 feet tall, he wore suit pants and large leather shoes, his body as straight as a young poplar tree. The man faced my scrutiny with composure. It's not that I'm shameless. You were the one who took the initiative to see me completely. I gave him a white-eyed glare. Are you a soldier? Let me introduce myself. 3rd Regiment of Division A, Cruz Chen. Hearing that name, I froze for a moment. All right, got it. I'll send it over once I've washed the clothes clean. I'm going to stay here for a week. I'll send it tomorrow. Watching the woman's retreating figure, Cruz Chen's lips curled into a smile. Zhao Yi had been looking for Cruz Chen for a while. Seeing the man staring straight ahead, he followed his gaze and caught sight of a woman's back. Hey, stop staring, or your eyes will pop out. Look at you. I was only gone for a moment, and you've already gone fishing in the river. How are you going to meet the female comrade looking like this? Cruz Chen laughed. Yeah, I caught a big one. Cut it out. Who are you trying to fool? Hurry up and change your clothes in the car. Let me tell you, this female comrade was introduced by the commander's wife. You have to meet her. It's an assignment. You're not getting any younger. if you don't settle your personal matters soon, the higher-ups will really start arranging matches for us. I have something urgent to attend to. I can't go meet them, you go instead." Watching the man dash off into the distance in just a few steps, Zhao Yi slapped his thigh in frustration. "You bastard, they're all here to see you, and you just leave me here alone. What am I supposed to do? You're making me meet two women alone. Do you think I have too long a life or something?" I was walking with my head down toward the bus stop when I heard, "Luna, bye. Get in. I'm heading back to the guest house. I can give you a ride." Looking at my disheveled state, I didn't refuse. Turning down a free ride would just be making things harder on myself. The car drove smoothly. "Since you dislike Rislu so much, why not just call off the engagement? Do you think a marriage contract is a game that can be cancelled at will?" I came here this time with the intention of cancelling the engagement, but I couldn't bear to let that scumbag and that despicable woman have it so easily. Thinking of the grievances and wrongful death in my past life, my mood inexplicably sank. It's been over a decade since my rebirth, and I've always reminded myself to stay away from Rislu and live a good life in this lifetime. I've been trying to persuade myself for over a decade, but I still can't accept it. I feel like I can't get over that hurdle in my heart. If I can't get over that hurdle, I can't happily enjoy life. So this grudge must be avenged. That despicable couple, Rislu and Lacey Wen, must be punished. Nothing in the world is difficult for one who sets their mind to it. I feel like you've already succeeded halfway today. I didn't expect Cruz Chen to be so sharp, worrying about others' trivial matters while ignoring your own. Returning to the residential compound, I went straight back to the Liu family home. As soon as I entered the room, I saw Mother Liu sitting on the sofa with an angry expression. Seeing me come in, she raised her hand to slap me. I reached out to block it. Mother Liu roared at me, "People from the countryside have no manners. If it weren't for the old man's words, how could I ever acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law? Do you realize you are a daughter-in-law of the Liu family? Every word and action of yours represents the Liu family. How could you disgrace the Liu family like that today? Rislu and Lacey Wen grew up together since childhood. How dare you slander them like that? If you want to be part of our Liu family, you must publicly apologize in the newspaper and clear the names of Rislu and Lacey Wen. Otherwise, get out of the Liu family." I raised an eyebrow. In my past life, I came home soaking wet. And this woman not only said I had disgraced the Liu family but also accused me of being malicious and unworthy of being a daughter-in-law of the Liu family. If I hadn't stubbornly refused to leave and waited until old Master Liu returned, this old woman would have kicked me out that very day. If you care so much about face, then I'll use your face as a shoe insole. I must say, this lady here, your ability to twist the truth is quite impressive. What did you call me? Mother Liu looked utterly incredulous. "Listen up, lady, your son is my fiancé. And when I fell into the water, he didn't save me. He went straight to rescue Lacey Wen, who can swim, in front of so many people, ignoring the well-being of his fiancé and getting entangled with another woman. What is this called? This is called disloyalty to marriage. Knowing full well he is already engaged, yet still embracing Lacey Wen and letting so many people see it, making her out to be the bad woman who ruined our engagement. They grew up together with such deep affection. How could he bear to harm her like this? What is this called? This is called betrayal of friendship. Your son is disloyal and unjust, and you still come here to lecture me, a man who is so disloyal and unjust. I don't want him. Let's just call off the engagement between our two families. Return my family's betrothal token, and I'll leave immediately." Mother Liu was as furious as a raging lion because of me. "Luna Bai, you said those things by the lake. And now you want to call off the engagement? How is that possible? Then my son would truly become the kind of person you described, wanting to break off the engagement at this point. No way, unless you clarify, only then can it be called off. This old woman wants to protect her son's reputation while also dissolving our engagement, dumping all the blame on me. How shameless." I say, "You're thinking too optimistically. I suggest you go back and dream on. Since you don't want to break off the engagement, I can just as well not break it off either. I originally intended to handle the relationship between Lacey Wen and the Liu family with care, but since you don't agree to cancel the engagement, I think it's better to call the police. After all, The Liu family isn't someone to be trifled with. After saying that, I went straight upstairs, having confronted Mrs. Liu. My mood improved a bit. I know Mrs. Liu cares the most about the Liu family's reputation. She won't allow me to call the police. That way, the story of his son not saving his fiancée but instead saving another woman would spread widely, and the Liu family would be utterly humiliated. In my previous life, she looked down on me for my lack of education, for lowering the Liu family's standards, and for not being able to support Liu. In everything I did, she would tell me not to disgrace the Liu family's reputation. For the sake of the Liu family's face, I endured my man being at the beck and call of other women, not daring to make a scene. For the sake of the Liu family's reputation, I endured humiliation for 20 years. Heaven finally gave me a chance to be reborn. And the Liu family's reputation has nothing to do with me anymore. Upstairs, I packed my things while keeping an eye on the time. After this commotion, I couldn't stay at the Liu family's house any longer. In less than an hour, my door was pushed open. Lacey Wen, I'm here to admit my mistake. I was wrong today, and I'll accept whatever punishment you give me, but let's settle this privately. Don't call the police. I was both amused and exasperated by the man. For that woman Lacey Wen, he was really going all out. I raised my hand and slapped him twice across the face. You said I could hit or punish you as I please. The man's face was flushed red, his fists clenched tightly. You've hit me, you've made a scene. Let's just forget about calling the police. I'll submit the marriage report tomorrow. I sneered, thinking you could use marriage to control me. Think again. Do you really think, after all this, I would still marry you? Luna Bai, our engagement was arranged by our parents and matchmakers. It was decided by your grandfather and my father. This is not a game. I admit I didn't think things through today, and I apologize. I only saved Lacey Wen first because she seemed to be choking on water more severely. I didn't know she was the one who pushed you in. I was worried that if something happened to her, you might not be able to explain it clearly. I never expected a man to say something like this. Is he using psychological tactics just to stop me from calling the police? Since they want to play games, I'll play along with them a little longer. It's fine if you don't call the police. But she pushed me. I choked on water, and I was frightened. She needs to compensate me for the emotional distress. I'm not asking for much. Just 5,000 yuan. You can leave now. I need to rest. The next day, I haphazardly rolled up the dried clothes and went to the military district guest house. I placed the clothes on the front desk. These are Cruz Chen's clothes. Please return them to him. The inn attendant quickly agreed. All right, I'll bring it over when he returns. I could see a fiery light shining in the girl's eyes. That evening, I found a quiet spot to call my eldest and second brothers, only to see a man and a woman admiring the moonlight. Brother Liu, 5,000 yuan is too much. I don't have that kind of money. I really didn't push her. She fell on her own. She has witnesses, and if she really calls the police, you'll go to jail. I have over 2,000 in my savings book, and I withdrew it all today. You go back and try to scrape together the rest. But I'm innocent. Liu was somewhat agitated. I know, don't worry, once my salary and bonus come in, I'll make it up to you. It's all my fault for making Brother Liu worry. If only my parents were still here. Hearing this, Liu became even more agitated. He didn't know what was wrong with him. Ever since yesterday at the lakeside, when Luna Bai had hit and scolded him, treating him with disdain, he felt that he might have gone too far, but he was just used to it. Seeing Liu lost in thought, Lacey Wen felt extremely wronged. Brother Liu, what's wrong? Why aren't you saying anything? Do you not want to take care of me anymore? No, I promised your parents I would look after you. Then, how about we go see a movie this weekend? Liu was about to refuse. Lacey Wen started crying with a sense of grievance. I knew it. Once someone leaves, the tea turns cold. Just go, and don't bother with me anymore. Let me be bullied to death by others. I felt like Lacey Wen was made of water, with tears that could come at any moment. How could a woman made of water become so vicious? Liu felt a bit distressed. After all, this was a friend he had grown up with since childhood. Don't cry anymore. If you keep crying, your eyes will get swollen, alright? I'll take you to the movies this weekend. Lacey Wen stopped crying and smiled, then suddenly threw herself into the man's arms. Brother Liu, I knew you weren't an ungrateful person. Reese Lou was momentarily stunned and immediately tried to push the woman away, but she held on tightly. He simply couldn't break free. Lacey Wen, I'm engaged. If you act like this, people might misunderstand. Although I had already decided to break off the engagement and came here this time to get revenge on them, seeing the two of them embracing still made me feel somewhat stifled. Having been reborn, how could I let myself suffer this grievance again? I rushed out from the shadows, grabbed the woman by the hair, and pulled her out of the man's arms. Lacey Wen, you shameless woman, trying to seduce my fiancé again. Are you that desperate for a man? Then, without any hesitation, came several hard slaps, until the man grabbed the hand that was in the midst of slapping. Let go, Luna Bai. Stop hitting her. If you want to hit someone, hit me. It's not what you think. Lacey Wen and I have nothing going on. I'm here to help her get the compensation. Hearing the man's words, I actually let go of Lacey Wen's hand. Luna Bai, I'm going to fight you to the death. Lacey Wen was so furious that she lost all sense of decorum, spreading her fingers and lunging at my face. I didn't hold back and kicked her, sending the woman tumbling to the ground. Lacey Wen, Reese Lou is still my fiancé. Before we break off the engagement, stop flirting with him all the time. If you keep it up, I'll beat you every time I see you. Although this place is remote, my voice is loud enough to be heard hundreds of meters away. The military family members who were still outside digesting their food certainly heard my loud shout. They gradually gathered around us. You're talking nonsense. I didn't. If you didn't, then why did you throw yourself into my fiancé's arms? To those who know, it's you who are shameless. To those who don't, they might think my fiancé has loose morals, wanting to keep the home fires burning while chasing after other flags outside. Lacey Wen looked at the gathering crowd and realized she was at a disadvantage, so she covered her face and ran away. Reese Lou then pulled me toward the Lou family's house, saying, Luna Bai, let's go back and talk. I was pulled back to the Lou family's house. Only after entering the Lou family's door did Reese Lou let go of my hand, looking at the bruises on my wrist. I slapped the man's face repeatedly from both sides. Seeing the man's restrained expression, I suddenly felt extremely bored. Mother Lou pointed a trembling finger at me. Break off the engagement. Luna Bai, you shrew, get out of the Lou family. You country bumpkin, how dare you hit my son? I went upstairs, came down with a suitcase, and slammed the gold locket on the table. This token from the Lou family. I return it. Give me the Bai family's token, and I'll leave immediately. Fine. Just you wait. Mother Lou turned to go back to her room, but Reese Lou stopped her. Mom, I'm not calling off the engagement. I'll submit the marriage report tomorrow. Are you out of your mind? Marrying such a shrew? I don't agree. I was the one in the wrong. Mom, even if you were wrong, she shouldn't have hit you. What kind of fiancé does that? Break off the engagement. Weren't you childhood sweethearts with Lacey Wen? Just marry Lacey Wen instead. Mom, what nonsense are you talking? Lacey Wen and I have no relationship like that. I only promised Uncle Wen to look after her. Listening to the conversation between the mother and son, I felt extremely disgusted. The pent-up frustration in my heart has truly dissipated. I don't want to waste any more time here. I went straight to the military district guest house. Before I even reached the main gate, Reese Lou caught up with me. Luna Bai, you are my fiancé. What will people think if you stay outside? I've decided to submit the marriage report tomorrow. Reese Lou, are you not listening? We called off the engagement. Stop bothering me. I couldn't break free, and it seemed I was about to be dragged away by the man. This is a new society now, where free love is emphasized. How can Captain Lou still force a female comrade? Cruz Chen walked out from the corner, a cigarette dangling from his mouth. This is a matter between me and my fiancé. No need for outsiders to interfere. Cruz Chen's sloppy demeanor doesn't resemble a soldier at all. Luna Bai, are you his fiancé? No, Captain Lou. Luna Bai said no. I suggest you let go, or I won't hesitate to use my authority to order you. Reese Lou had no choice. Luna Bai, I know you're still angry. I apologize to you again. I'll call Dad later to see if we can arrange good jobs for my eldest and second brother. I'm so annoyed. I shouted out loud, get lost. In my previous life, I begged him countless times to see if he could find jobs for my two older brothers. Even until my death, my brothers' jobs were never secured. In this life, both of my brothers are successful in their careers, so why would I need him? Alright, I'll go, you rest early, I'll come see you tomorrow. I really don't get it. Does this Rieslu have some kind of masochistic tendency? He's taken at least 10 hard slaps these past few days, hasn't he? Rieslu finally left. I went to the front desk to check in, and right at the stairwell entrance, I ran into Cruz Chen. The man grabbed my suitcase from my hand. Which floor? Third floor. Did you really call off the engagement? None of your business. I didn't do anything to you. On the contrary, I even saved you once. You don't have to be so dismissive of me. Early the next morning, I went to the Liu family's home and, amidst Mrs. Liu's curses, retrieved my Bai family's heirloom jade bracelet, a high-quality, fully green jadeite bracelet from the old mine. In my previous life, it was given away by Rieslu to Lacey Wen, but now it has finally returned to my hands. As I stepped out, I ran into Lacey Wen again, who shoved a wad of cash into my hand, 5,000, not a penny less. Looking at her pained expression, I found it ridiculous. It wasn't even her own money, so why was she so upset? I put the money away and smiled at her. We're even now, the past is gone with the wind, never to return. It's time for me to let go of the past and start a new life. I took a taxi to the train station and bought a ticket to go home next Monday. I still have a few days left, and I plan to take a good look around this city. Not for any particular reason, just to commemorate the person I was in my past life. After I leave, I might never come back to this city again. I walked along the small paths I used to take and rode the buses I used to ride. Rieslu comes to the guest house to see me every day, and I find it extremely annoying. Is this man out of his mind? The last day before leaving this place happened to be a weekend. Cruz Chen invited me to watch a movie at the Military District Cinema. Since I had never been there in all those years of my previous life, I agreed. As luck would have it, I ran into Rieslu and Lacey when on the way. They were walking side by side, just ahead of Cruz Chen and me. Brother Liu, Luna Bai is truly greedy and vicious. She was the one who fell into the water. Yet she falsely accused me and even hit us. She's nothing but a shrew. Lacey Wen, what's done is done. Regardless of who was right or wrong, let's not bring it up again. Luna Bai is my fiancée. I've already submitted the marriage report. She will be your sister-in-law from now on. Brother Liu, how could you submit a marriage report? Aside from being somewhat good-looking, what about her is worthy of you? She's so vicious and wicked. You don't even like her. Are you really going to sacrifice your own happiness just to repay a debt of gratitude? Lacey Wen, Luna Bai will be my wife. Don't ever belittle her again. I gritted my teeth. Is this dog of a man deaf? We've already called off the engagement, yet he's still filing a marriage report. I wasn't even planning to make a big deal out of it anymore, but he's managed to disgust me. Quickly walking up to the two of them, without a word, she gave the man a hard slap. Luna Bai, you shrew, what are you doing? Rieslu didn't expect to run into Luna Bai. Luna Bai, don't misunderstand. I've already submitted the marriage report. The reason I'm accompanying Lacey Wen to the movies is to make things clear to her. I don't want the two of you to keep fighting. Shameless. We've already called off the engagement. Don't go around slandering me as your fiancé. It'll ruin my chances of finding someone else in the future. I'm so disgusted. I regret it. Why did I have to watch that movie? Compared to Lacey Wen's viciousness, this despicable man is the one who really leaves me feeling unsettled. I turned and walked away. Rieslu wanted to chase after him, but Lacey Wen tightly grabbed his sleeve to stop him. Walking a bit too quickly, I felt both thirsty and hot. Seeing the store ahead, boss, give me a soda, 2 bottles. I think it's a bit rude to stand me up right in front of me. I was a bit embarrassed, having forgotten about Cruz Chen. Cruz Chen paid, took the sodas from the boss, and handed one of them to me. Here, have a drink. I can't accept it without having done anything to deserve it. I'll buy my own. You helped me wash the clothes, so I'm treating you to a soda. Without giving me a chance to refuse, he shoved the soda into my hand. The clothes would be better if they were ironed a bit more. I was speechless and gave him a blank look. You're overthinking it. You seem to enjoy hitting it just now. Does your hand hurt? I ignored him and walked toward the bus stop. The man insisted relentlessly. We agreed to watch a movie, and the tickets are already bought. It would be a waste not to go. I stopped and looked at the man with a face full of pity. I remember reading in the military district newspaper in my past life that Cruz Chen, the youngest regiment commander in the Jing City military district, had a tough fate. He sacrificed his life in a mission just 2 years after taking up the post. No matter what, this man had saved me. Even though he ended up making things worse, I couldn't deny the fact that he had tried to help. If you have time to talk, go back and intensify your training. Only through hard training can you have a higher chance of survival when facing the enemy. The man probably didn't expect me to say something like that. He froze for a moment, then grinned, his wheat-colored skin set off his big white teeth, gleaming brightly. You're worried about me, aren't you? Don't worry, I'm tough. I'm heading back tomorrow. In all these years of military service, I've never seen a movie. You promised, so you can't go back on your word, right? Feeling that the man was as pitiful as my past self, I nodded. Cruz Chen was very happy. Just in time to buy some snacks to eat in the cinema later. It was my first time entering a military cinema, and I found it wasn't much different from regular cinemas outside. Perhaps to make up for the regret of not having watched movies in a past life, after my second brother started his successful business, I would go to the cinema to watch a movie every week. A movie lasts over an hour, and when it ended, I unexpectedly saw Reese Liu and Lacey when again at the entrance. I was particularly surprised. How could these two have the nerve to keep watching movies? Reese Liu was also very surprised to see me and quickly walked over. Just in time, we're going to the mall to buy some things. The marriage report might be approved in the next couple of days. I sneered. Buying things. All the money has been given to Lacey when. What are we going to buy with? But this has nothing to do with me, Reese Liu. Can't you understand plain language? We've called off the engagement, so why are you still filing a marriage report? It's absolutely ridiculous. There are a lot of people here. Don't force me to take action. It's disgusting. Cruz Chen watched with amusement as the little girl clapped back. Luna bye. Thank you for watching the movie with me. To show my appreciation, I'd like to treat you to a meal. Would you do me the honor, seeing Reese Liu sticking to me like a plaster? I didn't hesitate and followed Cruz Chen. I'm returning to my team tomorrow. Could I get your phone number? I don't have. Just as I was about to say I didn't have a phone, a beep 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 sound suddenly came from my bag. Feeling a bit awkward, I pulled out my phone from the bag, saw my second brother's call on the screen, and without hesitation, pressed the hang up button. Seeing this, Cruz Chen took my phone without a word and started tapping away, hearing the beep, beep, beep sound coming from him. He then handed the phone to me. I glanced at the phone and noticed a new contact named Cruz Chen. This is my number. You can contact me anytime if you need anything. I nodded perfunctorily, thinking that since we were destined not to meet again, what would be the point of staying in touch? Just then, my second brother called again. I pressed the answer button. Hey, little sister. When are you coming back? Your admission letter has been here for almost a month. Yanda University. Dad said we're going to throw a big banquet. Hurry back. How can we have the celebration without the star of the show? I'm taking the train tomorrow. Great, I'll pick you up. I just closed a big deal recently and met a girl. You've got to come back and give me some advice. Alright, you just wait. After hanging up the phone, I felt genuinely happy. In my previous life, my second brother, at this time, was still single because of poverty. Even as the country's economy rapidly developed later on, as a farmer, my second brother remained unaccomplished. In this life, because I know some things about the future, I had my second brother start a business early. He is now the big boss of a company. After lunch, Cruz Chen said goodbye to me. I'm leaving tonight. I won't be able to see you off tomorrow. I have legs of my own. The next day, I dragged my luggage back to my hometown, attended my own college celebration banquet, and met the girl my second brother liked. My eldest brother also called from the military, apologizing repeatedly for not being able to come back in person. Letting go of my lingering attachments, I felt that this life was absolutely perfect. I declined my second brother's offer to take me to school and went to Yang University alone to register. I think my life should start anew from this moment, but I never expected that Reese Liu would become my military training instructor. On the first day of military training, Reese Liu stopped me as I was heading back to the dorm. Luna bye, I really didn't expect to run into you here. I felt disgusted. Instructor Liu, are you out of your mind? I'm exhausted after a day of training. You're stopping me from going back to rest. Do you want me to drop dead? No, I'm just really happy to see you. You should go back and rest early. I sighed to myself about my bad luck. The more I didn't want to see someone, the more I ended up running into them. It was like stepping in dog poop, utterly disgusting. I made a wish, may that damn man get lost and stay far away from me. The next day, I felt as if I were the heaven's favorite daughter. My military training instructor had been replaced. It turned out to be Cruz Chen, but this man acted as if he didn't know me. On the very first day, he made me stand at attention as punishment. By the end of the day, I was completely exhausted. After dinner, I dragged my tired body into the dormitory. Instructor Chen is just too good. I thought he was a cold-faced taskmaster, but it turns out he's actually a big sweetheart. He was worried we'd get too exhausted, so he even took care of the hot water supply for our girls' dorm. Oh my, I'm going to write a story called The Cold-Faced Officer Falls in Love with Me. Let us read it when you're done. How come the instructor didn't punish me today? I also want him to personally guide me in standing at attention. Lunaby, how did it feel when the instructor taught you to stand at attention hand in hand? Looking at my roommates crowding around, I rolled my eyes at them. What does it feel like? It feels like I'm about to die from exhaustion. They sighed in disappointment. Ah, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Listening to their chattering, I sighed to myself, thinking how wonderful it is to be young. Lying in bed early, the text message alert rings. Seeing the name Cruz Chen, I opened the message. Lunaby, soaking your feet in hot water can help relieve fatigue. Get some rest early. Tomorrow will be even more tiring. I felt a bit annoyed. If he hadn't singled me out for criticism, I wouldn't be this exhausted. A month has passed in the blink of an eye. This past month, I've been exhausted every day by Cruz Chen. Yet he sends me messages every night telling me to rest well. I was so angry that I didn't reply to a single one. As the military training ended and the instructors were about to return to their base, the girls in our dorm gathered around Cruz Chen. Instructor Chen, I will write to you. And you must remember to write back to me, Cruz Chen said with a stern face. We are usually very busy with training and don't have time to write letters. Then what's your phone number? I'll call you later. Our phone numbers are confidential. I laugh. Cruz Chen's deadpan expression while bluffing is quite amusing. After the military training ended, I finally escaped the clutches of the men and left the field in high spirits. At the entrance of the field, I unexpectedly ran into Reese Liu again. And I muttered to myself, what bad luck. Lunaby, can I talk to you? I don't have time. I tried to leave, but Reese Liu stopped me. Lunaby, I don't know why you're so cold to me. We were engaged. Even if we didn't get married, we shouldn't act like enemies. Lately, I've been thinking about what happened after you came to the compound. I also asked friends about the things that occurred between us. I realize now, it was my fault. After we got engaged, I didn't keep my distance from other female comrades. You broke off the engagement because of this, and I accept that. Even if we can't be husband and wife, we can still be friends. Your father saved my grandfather's life. And my family still owes yours a debt of gratitude. From now on, I'll take care of you like a younger sister. You can always come to me if you need anything. I sneered. Then what about after you get married? What if your spouse doesn't like you taking care of me? That won't happen. I'll marry a sensible and understanding wife. Hearing this, I suddenly felt irritated. As if possessed, I continued to ask, then after you get married, what if I ask you to go shopping and watch movies with me? If time allows, this is what an older brother should do. His answer made me pause for a moment. What if I'm short on money? My salary is for household expenses, but I can use my bonuses to help you out. Hearing him say that, I found it extremely amusing. How come I never realized in my past life that this man was such a philanthropist? If your wife and I were both trapped in a fire, who would you save first? How could you even make such a hypothetical? Answer me. Who would you save first? Follow the principle. Whoever has the higher chance of survival gets rescued first. I was momentarily stunned. Without any emotional bias, is it really just about who has the higher chance of survival? I don't need you to take care of me. The best way you can care for me is by staying away. I pushed Reese Liu away, took a few steps, then stopped. I advise you to treat your partner better after you get married in the future. Then, without lingering, he headed straight to the dormitory. Midway, Cruz Chen sent a message. Lunaby, I've returned to the team. Take care of yourself at school. If you have time, send me a text back. I didn't reply. It tormented me for a month, driving me absolutely crazy. College life is colorful. I joined clubs. And many boys pursued me, but I turned them all down one by one. In my senior year, I heard news about Rieslew. 2 years ago, he married Lacey when, but his position hadn't changed in recent years. With no future in the military, he had to transfer to civilian work. When I heard this news, I should have been happy, but in reality, I wasn't very pleased. Perhaps I truly don't care anymore. The day before graduation, I received a text message from Chen as usual in the evening. Sorry, Luna. I can't attend your graduation ceremony. I'll be away for a while and won't be able to message you during this time. Please take good care of yourself. I gripped my phone tightly, feeling both fearful and conflicted inside. 2 years ago, Chen texted me to say he had been promoted to regimental commander. He asked if he could pursue me. I refused, but he was like an unkillable cockroach, still sending messages every day without fail, and whenever he had time, he would come running to my school. Despite my repeated refusals, he still came without fail, rain or shine. What woman doesn't want to be favored? So, even though I knew his fate, I couldn't help but fall for him. I thought I could change my family's fate. Could I also rewrite his life? Where are you? I want to see you. Wait for me. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I arrived at the school gate early to wait. Chen was indeed punctual. He ran over excitedly, wearing combat gear. Luna, this is the first time you've said you wanted to see me. You have no idea how ecstatic I am. I watched him grinning from ear to ear. Chen, no matter what happens, you must stay alive. Of course, I haven't married you yet. How could I bear to die, thinking about how a young life is destined to fade away? I don't know why, but it hurts so much. Luna, let's get married when I come back, okay? I'm already 30, and my comrades' kids are old enough to run errands. Okay, wait for me to come back. Alright, then wait for me to return. At that moment, someone in the distance shouted, Chen, it's time. We have to go. Coming. Luna, wait for me to come back. Okay, I'll wait for you to come back. Watching the man look back every few steps, I couldn't hold back my tears. Chen, you must come back. A month, a year. I walked through a park covered in fallen leaves. Watching a man in the lake pulling a girl by the arm as he swam toward the shore, I think of the man who asked me to wait for him to return. My heart aches fiercely. I knew there would be no outcome, yet I still let myself fall for him. I can't blame anyone else. Somehow, his comrade managed to find me and handed me a notebook. This is something I found while sorting through old Chen's belongings. I thought you should see it. It was a black notebook. It was Chen's diary, August 15th, 1997. I think fate has been kind to me. I actually met a girl who captivated me at first sight. I saved her, but she's like a little hedgehog, pricking everyone she meets. I want to make her happy, but I don't know how to do it. I admit I am cowardly. I couldn't finish reading it and just closed the notebook. 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye. I am no longer young. You've got a message. You've got a message. I found it a bit strange. In this day and age, everyone uses WeChat to communicate. So who would still send a text message? Thinking it might be spam, I ignored it. Chen waited the entire day but didn't see any reply. He was feeling desperate, rough. Large hands tightly covered his face. 10 years of undercover work had been loyal to the country, but he had lost her, after a long while. He removed his hands and collapsed onto the bed like a walking corpse. He closed his eyes, and all he could see was the girl's defiant expression right in front of him. Not until I lay in bed did I open the text message interface on my phone. The familiar number, the familiar name, blurred my vision. The message contained only one sentence. I'm back. Are you still waiting for me? Covering my mouth, I burst into tears. 10 years, 10 years, my hands trembling. I typed a sentence. 10 years, and I'm still here. That's the end of today's story. If you've listened this far, please leave a comment saying happy every day to wish everyone happiness every day.